Hey there, Mike Barbanica with Blue Line Property Management. As many of you know, laws in California January 1st changed. There were substantial changes throughout the state. A couple of those laws, and this one is specifically talking about the rent control law, a couple of those laws affect homeowners that are landlords. So let's talk about this rent control law. I've been getting a lot of calls from people, not only that we represent, that we manage their property, but also from people that are with other property management companies asking questions because they haven't heard anything from their management company. So let me just kind of break this down for you. What we did was last year, we reached out to an attorney and we wanted to get ahead of the game on this to determine what was required, who this applied to, and really get an understanding of it. So we went and met with the attorney. The matrix for this is multiple pages. So you basically start at the top of the page and it'll ask you a question about the property and how title is held and where it's located and so on. And it'll ask some tenant questions and you follow these boxes. So it'll say, if you fall in line here, go this way. If you don't, go this way. And you follow these boxes down. And at the end, it'll tell you, this either affects you or it doesn't. But here's the second part of the law that is not understood by many people. You have to notice the tenant. So what we've been doing is reaching out to every owner that we have, that we represent, and going through the matrix if we think there's a question. So many people this law does not apply to. So it doesn't apply to everybody that's out there. So if we look at it and we believe it did not apply to you or does not apply, we've sent it off to you. Now, keep in mind, we're not attorneys. I have to give that disclosure all the time, or disclaimer all the time. If we believe it hadn't applied to you or doesn't apply to you, we have sent it off to you for you to be able to review the matrix and then sign off that it doesn't apply. But then we've taken a second step and we've also noticed your tenant. For those of you that we believed it applied, we've reached out to you and said, we believe that this applies. Or if we just know that it applies to you, we've reached out to your tenants in writing and let them know. So either way, we've made sure that number one, you're aware of it and that you've signed off on it. Number two, that we've taken the next step to reach out to your tenant and let them know that this law either applies or doesn't apply. The tenant has to be noticed on this. So by us actually taking that step last year when we reached out to the attorney's office, we were able to, like I said, kind of get ahead of the game a little bit and really start to get an understanding of this law. We've spoke to multiple attorneys about this and gotten a lot of information as to different owners around the state of California that we represent, if it applies or if it doesn't. So rest assured, if you're being managed or your property is being managed by us, we are ahead of the curve on this. We've already reached out to either you through an electronic email for a digital signature, via phone, via text, and rest assured we've also reached out to your client. So they've been noticed one way or the other if the law applies or doesn't apply. If the law applies to you, you would know it. Number one, you would have gotten a phone call from me. And number two, when you saw the matrix, you would have followed it and said, whoa, this applies. And you would have reached back out to us and said, yes, it applies. So quite a few people it does not apply to. They're exempt from it, but the tenants have to be noticed either way. So rest assured we've taken care of that. Thanks very much and have a great day. If you need us, always feel free to reach out to us. The tenant line that you call, and I'll include it in this email, that's the fastest way to get a hold of me. Look at it this way. There's one of me, and I'm out at properties every day, but I have a large staff that I work with, and that staff monitors phone lines, returns emails. So if you're talking to somebody in the staff, believe me, I'm in contact with them every day. It's not that I don't want to talk to you. It's just there's only so many hours during the day. And quite often I'm doing walkthroughs on properties, dealing with attorneys, dealing with evictions, dealing with late payments coming in. So that's why we have that staff in place to make sure that you're dealt with. And I communicate with every one of them every day. Thanks very much and have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.